When you think of cursed places, what comes to mind? Ancient burial grounds, haunted houses, perhaps a forest with a dark history. But sometimes reality can be scarier than fiction. One wrong step could mean disaster. And that's exactly what happened in one of Russia's most mysterious cases. The year was 1959, when 9 seasoned hikers set off into the northern Ural Mountains. They planned to spend a few weeks hiking and skiing before returning home. But their expedition would take a dark turn. Their abandoned campsite was found devastated, their tent cut open from the inside, and there were mysterious footprints leading away from the scene. Yet none of their bodies had been found. What happened to them? This is the mystery that still haunts Russia to this day. Before we dive into this harrowing tale, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to get notified every time we upload a new video. Back in February 1959, 9 experienced skiers and hikers set off through the Ural Mountains. They were led by Yuri Yudin, a seasoned outdoorsman who knew the terrain well. The group consisted of both men and women ranging from 23 to 42 years old. The friends had a lot of experience between them, having hiked in the region multiple times before. In fact, they were so confident in their abilities that they didn't even bother to inform anyone about their hiking plans. All they did was tell their families where they intended to go and when they'd be back. And the friends seemed prepared. They packed supplies, food, and camping equipment. Then they left their transport at the edge of the forest, donned their warmest clothes, and headed deep into the mountains. But after 2 weeks, they were a no-show. When Yudin's wife realized her husband hadn't returned, she went to the authorities. A search party was organized, but the weather delayed their efforts. Finally, when they reached the group's planned destination, they found the hikers' abandoned belongings, including their skis, backpacks, and tents. Something was amiss. The supplies were left behind, yet none of the hikers were there. So the search party continued the hunt, traveling deeper and deeper into the snowy landscape. Days later, they discovered something horrifying. The tent was found partially crushed, ripped open from the inside, but there was no sign of a struggle. The zipper was intact and nothing appeared to be stolen, as if the campers had fled in terror, abandoning their things. The searchers checked the area and found 7 sets of footprints leading away from the tent. And something else caught their attention. The hikers' shoes had been neatly placed next to the tent, but all 7 pairs were barefoot. The most terrifying part was that 2 of the footprints showed clear signs of dragging. It looked like whoever made them had lost the use of their limbs and dragged themselves across the frozen ground. It was then that the searchers realized they weren't dealing with an ordinary case. Someone or something had attacked the hikers. But what? And where were their bodies? The search continued, and a few days later, 4 more bodies were found. 3 of them were found close to the tent in a clearing near the Dyatlov Pass, hence the name of the incident. The 4th body was discovered further away, dragged into the nearby woods. The hikers' faces were bruised and their ski suits torn, yet their external wounds were minimal. There was no blood. The sight of the bodies shocked the search team. Some of the hikers had jaw and chest fractures, but they had no visible external wounds. It was as though their internal organs had liquefied while their skin remained intact. Medical examiners examined the bodies, baffled by the condition of the bodies. The reason for death was unclear, nor was it possible to determine the cause of the injuries. At the time, Soviet authorities worked tirelessly to find a logical explanation. Soon, rumors began to spread among the search team. The hikers hadn't died from a natural accident, they claimed. Someone had killed them. Strange, unknown assailants. But why? And where was the other half of the group? People were shocked and frightened. Authorities quickly refuted the rumor, declaring that a full investigation was underway. 2 months later, 3 more bodies were found, all bearing similar injuries. It was now apparent that a sudden force had struck them down. With this realization came questions. What kind of force could cause such severe internal injuries without external wounds? Why did some of the hikers leave the tent, and why were their shoes neatly placed outside? The authorities struggled to come up with a theory. The case became known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident, and after decades it still has no official answer. First, let's examine the official version of events. According to the investigation, the hikers were likely killed by sudden avalanche. Initially, it explained some of the evidence, such as the tent being crushed and the bodies found outside. However, it couldn't account for the complete absence of blood and the peculiar state of some bodies. Additionally, it didn't explain why some bodies were found with minor injuries while others suffered severe internal damage. Some of the injuries were consistent with an avalanche, but not all. Another popular theory suggests that hypothermia caused the fatal injuries. After all, temperatures in the Ural Mountains can drop below -20 degrees Celsius. But this theory also falls short. If the hikers had succumbed to hypothermia, they wouldn't have felt pain. Therefore, they wouldn't have fled the tent. Moreover, some bodies were found fully clothed, suggesting that hypothermia wasn't a factor. These theories are intriguing, but they can't fully explain the strange details surrounding the Dyatlov Pass incident. This raises the possibility that the hikers' deaths might have resulted from a series of natural accidents, rather than a single catastrophic event. For example, an initial avalanche may have damaged the tent, causing the hikers to flee in panic. Then hypothermia could have taken its toll on their bodies, leading to the internal injuries. However, this explanation doesn't account for the bizarre behavior exhibited by some hikers, such as the dragging footprints and the orderly arrangement of their shoes. To understand these aspects, we must explore some of the more outlandish conspiracy theories. Some believe that the hikers encountered a military experiment gone awry, which may explain the unusual injuries and the secrecy surrounding the case. It's said that Soviet authorities were involved in testing new weapons, and they chose the Ural Mountains for their remote location. These tests included sonic weapons that could liquefy human organs from the inside. But where did the injuries come from? A more chilling theory involves a Yeti attack. The Yeti, also known as the Abominable Snowman, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the Himalayan mountains. While there's no concrete evidence of its existence, some believe that the Dyatlov Pass incident may have involved a real-life Yeti. Hikers may have stumbled upon this elusive beast, leading to a violent confrontation. However, there's no direct evidence to support this theory, and it remains in the realm of speculation. Another fascinating theory points to extraterrestrials. Some believe that the hikers witnessed a UFO, and when they realized it was being watched, they panicked and fled the campsite. The UFO could have then used some sort of energy weapon, causing the strange internal injuries. But again, this remains in the realm of conjecture. In 1991, someone claimed to have found one of the hikers' cameras. The film had developed and, when viewed, revealed a picture of a glowing light in the sky. Some believe it could be a UFO, lending credence to the extraterrestrial theory. However, the authenticity of the photo is questionable, and it's not widely accepted as evidence. As you can see, the Dyatlov Pass case has generated numerous theories over the years, each attempting to explain the harrowing ordeal of the 9 Russian hikers. While the truth may never be fully uncovered, one thing is certain: the strange details surrounding the case continue to captivate people worldwide. The idea that such a horrific event could occur in the middle of nowhere and with seemingly no explanation is unsettling. One witness recalled seeing the hikers at a local hostel shortly before the expedition. He described them as cheerful and in good spirits. Another witness, a ranger, spotted a strange bright light in the sky over the mountains on the night of the incident. Could it have been a UFO? We may never know. The official explanation attributes the injuries to avalanches and hypothermia, but it's hard to accept given the lack of blood and the strange behavior of some bodies. The thought of a military experiment gone awry is chilling, yet it could explain some aspects of the case. The Yeti theory, though speculative, adds a touch of mystery and intrigue. And the UFO sighting provides an extraterrestrial twist to the already perplexing puzzle. As for the truth, it may forever remain hidden in the icy peaks of the Ural Mountains. Despite the passage of time, the Dyatlov Pass Incident continues to haunt those who hear about it. The story serves as a reminder of the unforgiving nature of the wilderness and the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. So, what do you think happened to the hikers? Do you believe the official story, or are you intrigued by the more outlandish theories? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about more spine-tingling mysteries and unexplained phenomena. And make sure to stay tuned for more content from Hidden Curiosities. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious and keep an eye out for the strange and mysterious. And remember, some secrets are best left buried in the snow.